Hi, Darryl Owens again. Some of you may know that I was a police officer and an instructor at a police academy, and that I worked on that job for more than 32 years. I've trained over 2,500 police officers. You may also know that I was the lead self-defense instructor. I taught cops how to fight. That course is called Defensive Tactics. But what you may not know, not that I haven't shared it, but because people tend to remember the other flashier things that I did, was to teach them how not to fight. That course is called Realistic De-Escalation for Law Enforcement Officers. I retired from that profession in 2023. Recently, as I was adapting the de-escalation course for my post-retirement career, it hit me how useful these principles have been for myself, my fellow shepherds, and others involved in charged conversations with our church family, and how useful a brief overview might be for all of you. For you, my dear brothers and sisters, thank you, thank you, thank you for holding to the truth of the gospel in these difficult times. In this brief video, I am offering some of the knowledge I've gleaned over the years, and I continue to use these principles today. All of us have found ourselves involved in a conversation that escalates out of control. How do I, as a follower of Jesus, de-escalate a conversation like this? Here are some principles from scriptures. In 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8, it says, "Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails." Many scriptures underscore this point, but for today's lesson, let's take a look at 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 9 through 12. Finally, all of you be like-minded, be sympathetic, love one another, be compassionate and humble. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. Whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous. His ears are attentive to their prayer. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. Here are some practicals for de-escalation. What does it look like practically to de-escalate a conversation? Consider these 3 steps. Listen to the emotion. The words are secondary for now. Trust me. Affirm and label the emotion out loud. Be natural, gentle, and respectful. We're not talking about a technique here. We're talking about a connection. And then partner in problem solving. There's a great illustration in the Gospel of Luke. In chapter 10, verses 38 through 42, it says, "As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister named Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, 'Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me.' 'Martha, Martha,' the Lord answered, 'you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her.' Martha was angry and upset about what she saw as an unwilling and selfish sister not lending a hand. She went to Jesus, and he listened to her. Jesus listened. Then he did something that every great listener in and out of the church that I have ever seen has done. He labeled her emotion for her. This skill is called affect labeling. You are worried and upset about many things. He realized that her emotions were not just angry and directed towards her sister. There was a lot going on for her. Jesus, through his gentle and loving direction, helped Martha to begin to understand the depth of her problems. Oftentimes, we solve the problem before dealing with the emotion. Most times, this leaves the speaker feeling unloved by the listener, hurt, and frustrated. Jesus did not rebuke her with his comment. Instead, he validated her feelings. Jesus helped Martha by labeling her emotions. Then he partnered with her to work towards a solution. Jesus did this perfectly. Jesus is perfect. We are not. We will hurt each other, frustrate each other, and need to reconcile with one another. Sometimes we will hurt each other and not even know it. Again, we need to be guided by the scriptures. Let's talk about how to apologize. Apologizing is a spiritual skill that we need to practice. Matthew 18:15. If your brother or sister sins, go and point out their fault just between the two of you. If they listen to you, you have won them over. We need to be willing to approach our brothers and sisters and be willing to be approached. When we have hurt someone, we need to be willing to apologize. I've noticed that many of us have no clue how to do this. We follow our apologies with conditions and justifications. Saying, "I'm sorry, but," is like writing an apology on a dry erase board, then rubbing it out. Instead, we need to be humble. Again, acknowledge the hurt that our brother or sister is feeling, then apologize and let the apology sit. It is always good to ask for forgiveness and pray together. It could look like this: brother, sister, I am hearing that my words have hurt you. I care for you and feel badly that you are hurting. I'm sorry. Then be comfortable with the silence and let your brother or sister be the next to speak. Thank you for your attention, dear brothers and sisters. I love you. May God bless his church and grow our unity as a family.